Welcome to this empowering exploration of Stoic philosophy. In today's video, we're about to uncover 6 life-changing Stoic principles that can completely transform the way you approach life, adversity, and personal growth. Whether you're struggling with emotional turmoil, feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges, or simply seeking more clarity and purpose, these Stoic teachings are for you. Stoicism, as taught by the great philosophers Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, offers timeless wisdom that empowers you to master your thoughts, control your reactions, and turn life's obstacles into opportunities for growth. These principles aren't just abstract ideas. They are practical tools you can start applying today to elevate your mindset, build resilience, and live with more intention and fulfillment. But before we dive into these transformative teachings, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect. What do you want to achieve in your life? What is holding you back from reaching your full potential? By applying these Stoic principles, you will gain the tools you need to overcome those barriers and start living a life of purpose. If you find value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that will help you unlock your true potential. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite Stoic principle, or what's something you're struggling with that Stoicism could help you with? Now, let's begin with the first principle, the foundation of Stoic wisdom, and see how it can guide you toward a more peaceful, resilient, and meaningful life. 1. I control my mind, not the outside world. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies a powerful realization. You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. This simple but profound idea is the foundation of all Stoic teachings. In a world where things often feel chaotic, unpredictable, or even unfair, the Stoics remind us that the one thing we always have control over is our own mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said it best. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Imagine this. No matter what external circumstances arise, whether it's a stressful job, an unexpected challenge, or even a global crisis, how you choose to think about the situation is entirely up to you. This idea is liberating, isn't it? It means you are never at the mercy of outside forces. You are always empowered to decide how you interpret and respond to life's events. We all encounter difficult situations, but it's in those moments that your mindset truly defines your experience. When life throws you a curveball, there are 2 ways you can approach it. Either you let the external circumstance control your emotions, or you choose to remain grounded in the belief that your reaction is yours to control. Think about a time when something didn't go your way, a tough conversation, a sudden setback, or even an unforeseen change. How did you react? Did you get angry, frustrated, or stressed? The Stoics teach us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can choose to approach it with calm, clarity, and wisdom. For example, consider Epictetus, who was born into slavery, yet he managed to maintain an inner freedom that no one could take away. He wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Epictetus knew that, even in the face of hardship, his thoughts and reactions were within his control. You have that same power. Now, let's practice this. The next time you feel frustrated or upset by something outside of your control, take a step back. Instead of reacting immediately, pause and ask yourself, what am I choosing to focus on here? Can I shift my mindset to something more positive or productive? It's a simple but powerful shift, and it will begin to change the way you experience the world. This doesn't mean ignoring the reality of challenges. It means choosing to face them with strength and clarity, rather than being swept away by negative emotions or external circumstances. Every time you do this, you reinforce your power over your own mind and create a foundation of inner peace. In summary, by focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and your responses, you regain control over your life. When you cultivate this mindset, you'll find that peace doesn't come from the absence of external challenges, but from your ability to manage your inner world despite them. And that is where true freedom lies. 2. Challenges are opportunities in disguise. Every challenge you face is not just an obstacle, it is a hidden opportunity. The Stoics understood that life will always throw difficulties our way, but rather than seeing these challenges as threats, they viewed them as chances to grow, learn, and strengthen their character. The Stoic mindset teaches us to see each difficulty as an opportunity to become better, rather than something to fear or avoid. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." In other words, the challenges that seem like burdens are, in fact, the things that make us stronger, just like how lifting weights builds muscle. If you want to develop resilience, you need to face adversity head-on. Without challenges, growth would be impossible. When things go wrong, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life is against you. You might feel defeated, frustrated, or even angry. But here's the truth. How you perceive the challenge determines how it affects you. If you see every setback as a catastrophe, you'll find it difficult to move forward. However, if you shift your perspective to see it as an opportunity for growth, you'll find that every difficulty becomes a stepping stone toward a stronger version of yourself. Let's take the example of Nelson Mandela, a modern-day figure who embodies the Stoic principle of seeing challenges as opportunities. He spent 27 years in prison, but instead of being broken by this immense adversity, he used that time to reflect, learn, and cultivate inner strength. Mandela came out of prison with a mission, using his experiences to promote unity and justice. He understood that every challenge, no matter how painful, was shaping him for his greater purpose. You don't have to face something as extreme as prison to learn this principle. You encounter challenges every day, whether it's dealing with a difficult colleague, facing personal failure, or experiencing a setback in your career. Instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better, wiser, or more capable? When you reframe challenges as opportunities, you start to embrace the very things that would normally make you feel defeated. The Stoics taught that the more we face hardship, the more resilient we become. It's through these trials that we develop our greatest virtues, patience, courage, and wisdom. When you look at challenges through this lens, they no longer feel like roadblocks. Instead, they become powerful forces that shape your character and guide you toward becoming your best self. Let's make this practical. Next time you face a challenge, whether it's a minor inconvenience or a major obstacle, ask yourself, how is this situation helping me grow? What new skills or strengths can I gain from this experience? When you start asking these questions, you'll begin to notice how each challenge becomes a meaningful part of your personal development. And remember, even in the most difficult of times, you have the power to choose your perspective. The Stoics taught that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. By choosing to see challenges as opportunities, you not only empower yourself, but also build a life that is rich with meaning, growth, and resilience. 3. I am not my emotions, I observe them. Emotions are powerful, but they are not who you are. Often, we get caught up in our feelings and allow them to dictate our actions. The Stoics teach us that emotions are just temporary experiences that pass through us, like clouds in the sky. They are not permanent parts of our identity. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This powerful insight tells us that it's not the emotions themselves that control us, it's the way we interpret and react to them. When you feel anger, fear, or sadness, it's easy to believe those emotions are a direct reflection of who you are. But the truth is, emotions are signals, not definitions. Imagine being in the middle of a heated argument. Your heart races, your face flushes, and you feel the surge of anger rising. But in that moment, the Stoic approach would be to step back and observe your anger, rather than letting it dictate your next move. Ask yourself, what is causing this anger? Is this emotion helping me achieve my goals, or is it simply a reaction to something I can't control? By observing your emotions rather than identifying with them, you give yourself the freedom to choose your response. This is about emotional detachment, not in a cold or unfeeling way, but in a way that empowers you to make conscious choices rather than being controlled by your emotions. Over time, you'll find that you're able to manage your emotional responses rather than reacting impulsively. You begin to realize that emotions are temporary visitors, and you have the power to welcome them or let them pass without being swept away. Start practicing this by becoming more mindful of your emotional state throughout the day. When you feel an intense emotion, pause and label it. This is frustration, this is fear. By acknowledging it without judgment, you begin to create space between yourself and the emotion. You are the observer, and not the prisoner of your feelings. 4. Focus only on what I can control. In life, there are many things beyond our control. The opinions of others, the past, the future, and the actions of other people. The Stoics understood this, and they taught that peace comes from focusing only on what you can control. This is the principle of radical acceptance, accepting that many things are beyond your influence but choosing to focus your energy on what you can change. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. He reminds us that no matter what's happening around us, our mind is always ours to control. You can control your thoughts, actions, and reactions, but not external events. When you focus your attention on the things you can influence, the world becomes less overwhelming and more manageable. Think about your life right now. What are you spending most of your mental energy on? Is it something you can control, like your response to a situation, your habits, or your attitude? Or are you focusing on things outside your control, like the weather, other people's opinions, or global issues? Shift your focus. When you actively decide to stop worrying about things outside your control, you free up mental and emotional energy for the things that truly matter, like your personal growth, well-being, and relationships. The more you practice this, the less stress and frustration you'll experience. Instead of being overwhelmed by the external world, you will focus on creating a life that aligns with your values, where your thoughts, actions, and emotions work in harmony to create peace and purpose. 5. Today could be my last. Live fully. The Stoics believed that life is short, and we never know when it will end. This belief wasn't meant to be morbid, but rather a way to remind us to live with urgency and purpose. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." He understood that we often take time for granted, distracted by trivial things, or caught in the cycle of worry about the future. But what if today were your last? What would you do differently? This principle challenges us to live fully in the present moment, because the only time we truly have is now. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or the right circumstances, the Stoics urge us to make the most of each day. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, working on a passion project, or simply appreciating the beauty of life, the key is to act with purpose and intentionality. Imagine that you woke up today knowing that it could be your last day. What would you do differently? Would you be kinder to others? Would you take risks? Would you speak your truth? Living fully doesn't mean living recklessly, it means living intentionally. The Stoics teach us to embrace every moment, recognizing that the small, everyday actions are what make a meaningful life. As you go through your day, remind yourself of the preciousness of time. Make a list of things you've been postponing and take action now. It might be as simple as calling a friend you've been meaning to reconnect with, starting a new project, or taking a moment to appreciate the beauty around you. 6. Progress, not perfection. The pursuit of perfection is one of the greatest traps we can fall into. We often believe that unless something is perfect, it's not worth doing. This leads to procrastination, self-doubt, and paralysis. The Stoics, however, taught that the pursuit of progress is what truly matters. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery doesn't come from perfection, it comes from consistent progress. It's about showing up, doing the work, and continually moving forward, even if the steps are small. Perfection often leads to frustration because it's an unattainable goal. But progress is always achievable, and it's through these small steps that we become who we are meant to be. Think about a project, goal, or dream you've been putting off because you feel it has to be perfect. Now, ask yourself, what is one small step you can take today that moves you closer to it? Focus on progress, not perfection. Whether it's writing a paragraph, making a phone call, or simply brainstorming ideas, every step forward counts. Perfectionism is an illusion. Progress, however, is a journey that can be celebrated at every stage. Each small victory is a step toward mastery, and each moment of forward movement is worth celebrating. As we wrap up this journey through Stoic philosophy, remember that the teachings of the great Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, aren't just abstract ideas. They are practical tools that you can start applying in your life today. By mastering your mind, seeing challenges as opportunities, and choosing to live with purpose and intention, you can navigate life's obstacles with clarity, strength, and peace. These 6 principles are meant to empower you, not just to endure life's hardships, but to thrive in them. Whether it's letting go of perfection, embracing the present moment, or focusing on what you can control, these Stoic teachings will help you develop resilience, inner peace, and wisdom. So, take these lessons with you. Start applying them one step at a time. Every day is an opportunity to live with intention and grow stronger. And remember, the power to shape your life is always in your hands. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps you unlock your fullest potential. Let's keep growing together. Stay Stoic, stay strong, and keep living with purpose.